How do you feel about yesterday?
You know what? Good.
Yeah? A
Yeah.
lot to be encouraged about, you believe?
I honestly think that was one of the better scenarios. I really,
So,
I think it
so
was
you
good.
feel you feel similar to how we felt after week 1. They were down big in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
They showed a lot of grit, a lot of tenacity, marched down the gridiron, got some turnovers. They never
Mm-hmm.
gave up. Yesterday, they were down multiple scores, never gave up, and
Yep.
actually ended up taking the lead at one point. And then I mean, you can get into all you want that the refs blew that delay of game call, but let's not
Mm-hmm.
forget that the play right before that, we blew a 4th and 19 coverage, called a timeout, and just gave them all the time in the world to
Right.
plan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gave him a lot of time. But in my mind, we won that game.
That is, I think, what a lot of Lions fans have said for decades now. I mean, don't you
No.
remember?
Yeah, yeah,
we
it's
do.
true. But
We did it. We did this a lot last year. Remember, we'd be like, so if this play would have gone this way and the refs wouldn't have blown this call, we'd be 10-6. Like
yeah,
we all. What
it's true.
constitutes an actual loss for a Lions
That
fan?
they make the playoffs in my brain every year. I just go to sleep. They put me in my they induce me into a coma, and then in my head we have won 3 Super Bowls.
To Jeff Scheen, moral victories matter,
That's right. We
and
know we won that game. That is a win for us. Because like the way I look at it is, yes, we're rebuilding. We're supposed to stink. The Ravens were supposed to annihilate. I mean, they're the Ravens. They were supposed to just destroy us.
uh huh.
And the fact that the only way they could win was in the last 3 seconds with a help of a blown call and the world record for a field goal. That's a win for us. That's what it took for the Ravens to beat us. Is they needed the refs to help them, and they needed to set a new record. That is the only way they could beat us. So to me, that is us winning.
Have you seen this video of Justin Tucker singing opera on like America's Got Talent or something, and it's dubbed over the field goal kick yesterday? He's singing like Ave Maria as an
Oh,
opera
really?
man. Yeah,
He's
and
an opera
then
singer?
he's an opera singer, and the guy, not only does he have a big leg, he's got pipes.
Really?
Yeah, he's just a real dreamboat.
See, he's just a big guy. He kicks long field goals, and he's an opera singer.
I don't know if you were. Yeah, that's him. That's Justin Tucker, a man of many talents.
He's a murderer.
He's got a big
He's
boot and a
he,
bellowing baritone.
he's a serial killer or something. That's too many good things for a man.
I will say I would
Something's
agree.
off. He's hiding something.
I mean, look into those
Probably
eyes. Those
bodies.
eyes. Those eyes are big and
Yeah,
dead. He's got
yeah.
big dead eyes,
He's
a
got dead
beautiful
bodies in his
baritone,
crawl
and a
space.
big boot.
Yeah. Oh, hello. I'm just a NFL player. I kick world records and I sing opera. All right. How many bodies are you hiding? What do you do that's weird?
He's got him just propped up in this auditorium in his basement, and he just performs private opera concerts for them every week.
Yeah. 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 And then he sets their heads up and kicks their heads into field goals. That's too many good things for a man to have to not
it's
be messed up somewhere.
it's this beautiful music and then just straight Game of Thrones barbarianism and just
Yeah.
decapitating.
Yeah, he's
Hey
got to be a
Justin,
psychopath.
hey Justin, what's your secret to booting these long record-setting field goals? Well, every week just before I go to bed, I have a number of cadavers that I've created in my basement, and I'll just decapitate them. I'll just kick them.
Yep, and I
Ugh.
kick their heads into my field goal net as I sing my opera. Get out of here. What do you drink a nice Chianti?
Have you ever seen the
Weirdo.
show Dexter? You know how he just marks his entire room with plastic so there's not a mess? That's my basement. It is just covered in blood and brains.
Yeah, there's gonna be something. You know,
Ha-
is he single man? I wonder if he's a single man.
I will Wikipedia him, but let me ask you this while I am looking him up.
Hmm.
What the force to kick a 66-yard field goal, is that exploding ahead?
He said, "Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah, that's right." He just pictured a cadaver and brains, and he's like, "I'll kick this one as hard as I." That's crazy, crazy. That's crazy. He
He
is.
is married, and guess what the opera singer's wife's last name is?
What is it?
Bass.
What?
Bass, like Bass, like bass versus treble.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh,
just
it's
a
bass.
musical. Yeah, it's just her name's Amanda Bass, and I just think it's funny that he's an opera singer, and the lower like treble is the higher pitch stuff, bass is the lower pitch stuff. He's an opera singer. Her last name's Bass.
He's
Maybe I'm
married to an
reaching.
Amanda Bass. I bet he. I don't know. I bet he ignores her a lot, and she's like, "How come you're never around?" He's like, "I just kick and sing." He's like, "This is what you get. I was too perfect, and I'll never be connected to you on a personal level." Anyways,
Ama-
that's my qualms with Justin Tucker's personal life.
well, let's not forget either that back on in 2013, I believe it was.
Hmm.
Maybe it was 2015. I can't remember. It was 2013 or 2015, and it was Monday Night Football, and we were winning 16-15, and he
Very
booted
similar.
a 61-yard field goal to beat us 18-16. Now, I also heard a stat last night that said it's not Justin Tucker who does that. There was a time when I can't remember who the kicker was, but it was like in the 70s or 60s or something. Green Bay's kicker beat Detroit on a record-setting field goal too. We just lose to the how we've lost every way you can lose.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's our fault. It's what we get for playing in a dome. This is what they when they
This
built. What's up?
this doesn't happen in Minnesota. This
Yeah, but
doesn't
they're
happen in New
further north.
Orleans.
The air's thicker up there.
But what about down in New Orleans?
Yeah, they got the Gulf Coast winds that rattle the building.
We're in this weird Midwestern Bermuda Triangle where the conditions
Yeah.
are perfect for
They
just
should. I mean, at this point, they should just smash all the windows in that atrium thing, so there's at least a breeze that can stop these people from breaking records on us. It's our
it's
fault.
this it's the stadium equivalent of a sunroof in a car. It's like we're not going to take the top all the way down, but
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to get a nice cross breeze.
Yeah, how are you gonna play in a dome and not have a great kicker? We're just letting these other teams with good kickers destroy us all the time. And now we're putting out there with what's this? Who is it? Who's our kicker now? I don't even.
Well, yesterday was Ryan Santoso
Santoso.
because Austin Siebert, who was our starting kicker, he was on the COVID list, I believe, so we had to sign Santoso early on. Here's one thing I don't like while we're talking about Austin Siebert. He's wearing number 4
Yeah.
as
Oh
a
yeah.
kicker. You can't do that.
And get
Jason
COVID.
Hansen.
You can't wear number 4 and get COVID.
Yeah.
Hansen's vaxxed.
Hansen, yeah. Hansen never. I don't know what I was gonna say. I forgot.
Would never get. Hansen would walk into a crowded bar, no mask, and never get COVID.
Hansen's so goddamn charming. He'd walk into a biker bar where he didn't belong. A biker would buy him a beer, and then he would hold the jagged bottle, to that biker's neck, and the biker would say, "Thank you." Too convoluted, maybe, but I like
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
imagine
you lost me
that
somewhere in there.
I like to imagine that Jason Hansen is in leather pants, a leather like biker's jacket with tassels underneath the arms. He goes in, this guy just buys him a Budweiser. Jason's just charming the hell out of him because he's a product of the Detroit Lions organization, a real hero. And this guy's like, I'm sharing beers with the greatest kicker in Detroit history. And then
Yeah.
Jason breaks the bottle on the bar, holds it up to the guy's neck, and and the guy's like, I have a story to tell for the rest of my life. He's not even mad that his life was threatened.
Oh, what a wild tale that would be.
Also, because imagine Jason Hansen in that attire, but like, do you remember his head and his receding hairline? It was
Oh
just
yeah.
the definition of a pinhead.
Yeah, yeah, weird. Yeah, well, it's because it's always crammed into a kicker's helmet.
That's it. But I digress. Austin Siebert, get number 4 off your body. Why have we not retired number 4 yet?
I don't know. Get Siebert. I'm a Santoso guy now. Santoso didn't miss any. That was good.
Did you hear the stat where before he kicked that 35-yard field goal to give us the lead, his longest was 29?
Was it really?
Yeah. His longest career field goal was 29
Well,
yards.
of course. Well, because we play in this dome where apparently you can kick it across the field and make a field goal. So
Did you
every
what happened
kicker's like having a great time.
when you saw that kick? What were because I saw it go up and I was like 61 yards. It was straight as an arrow. I was like, oh, it's in. And then I saw it hit the crossbar, and every time it hits the crossbar in my experience, it seems to
Bounces
bounce
away.
backwards. So I'm like, oh, he missed, and I'm going crazy. And then all of a sudden, I see it bounce on this side of the crossbar. I'm like, oh no, he made it. And my level of emotion in that time of the kick was so up and down. My daughter, honestly, she came in and she goes, "Did someone die?" And she's young enough to where she wasn't trying to be funny. She genuinely thought something terrible had happened.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. See, well, for me, I was like, as soon as they started to kick it, I was like, he's gonna make it. This is gonna go in. And then he kicked it, and I was like, it's going in. And then it hit, and I was like, wait, is it? And then like, no. And I was like, all right, yeah, it's in. There was a
Just very
split second of me going, wait, no. And then as soon as I did that, they're like, that's in. I was like, that's what I thought. Okay, good. Good. I wanted to go in. If anything, it helps our draft position, anyways. Who cares?
yeah,
We're
which
not going to make the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. You might as well get a better draft position, and we still technically we beat them. I think we won that game because they needed to set a new record.
I mean, honestly,
Jared Goff and no talent on. The only thing we have is running backs and an O line.
well,
That's it.
I mean, on paper, yes, but let's dive into some stats real quick because Jared Goff has actually not been awful.
He has it. No, he's playing fine. He's a good.
He's on the season thrown for, I have
He's
it
not
up
great
here.
with the deep ball, but
No, he's got no deep ball. That's for damned sure.
yeah.
So far this year, he has thrown for 801 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's completing 70% of his passes.
Yeah, yeah. He's great. Like
His
he's
average
great at dinking and dunking.
His average is 6.5. He's thrown 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's got a long of 46, but his rating is 94.
Yeah, he's playing fine. He's great at
He's
dinking
not doing
and dunking.
bad.
He doesn't have a great deep ball, but also who would he throw the deep ball to? Cephas?
See if it. Oh, he's not fast. I'll tell you who he could end up throwing the deep ball to is Khalif Raymond, who has not looked good up until yesterday. He had 10 targets, and he brought in 6 of them.
Yeah,
He had 68 yards.
68 yards at a Raymond.
Yeah.
He did have that one good run after the catch.
Yep.
We're getting a lot of yards after catch.
Big
Dunk, and then we
big
have
yak
these two
team.
great running backs.
TJ Hawkinson had a
Swift.
I think that was DeAndre Swift's coming out party. Wouldn't you agree?
What a game.
There were
I had him
two
on
consecutive.
a fantasy team. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I had DeAndre Swift on a fantasy team, and I also had Justin Tucker. So I think that softened the blow.
DeAndre Swift, I mean, they rode him for two full drives. Just the ball to him every single time.
And I love that we do that with our offenses. Like they'll get like a good run play, and then they'll do the same thing just to see if it'll happen again. They'll do it. They'll do the same play twice in a row sometimes. And I was like, yeah, why not?
And the commentators always recognize it. They go, yeah, run it until it breaks.
Yeah.
They're always on board with it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's working, keep doing it. And I'm like, you know what? He's got a good point. I'm on board with that idea.
I'm thrilled with our running back situation.
I love seeing a running game.
Yeah, these holes are getting opened up. Did you see Sewell go in motion yesterday from the tackle position?
Mm-hmm.
It was wild.
We have a good O line and good running backs. That's it.
And I think it's gonna happen every week. I'm gonna tell you how much I love Jamal Williams. That guy has just got all the swagger in the world. I love that guy. He's so fun to watch.
He's very fun. He's got a good personality. He jumps around, He got that touchdown by staying off the ground somehow, by like pushing with his back.
Mm-hmm.
Good job there, Jamal.
Real anime move.
Yeah, real anime style. Like that.
He loves it.
How many total rushing yards do we have that whole game?
Let's see here. Team stats for the Detroit Lions yesterday were we had rushing attempts. We made 27 rushing attempts. We only had 93 yards.
Oh, okay. Then a lot of the Swift ones were him pass catching.
Yeah. He had 47 yards rushing. Jamal Williams had 42. I mean, and think about this. 14 carries for Swift, 12 carries for Williams. Talk about a pretty balanced rushing attack.
Yeah,
Um,
we got a two-headed dragon.
and Swift had 7 receptions, and he got targeted 7 times. Like,
That's yeah. He was catching. He's great with a dink. He does a
yep.
dink, and then Cephas catches a dunk every once in a while.
Williams too. He had two receptions on 2 targets for 25 yards. Long of 15. So that means he had a catch for 15 and a catch for 10. Swift, I can't do it. There's too many. 7, but his long was 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. We're a good team and we got a good O-line now. It's exciting. And
Well, you know what else?
I mean, without the refs' help, we beat the Ravens.
I've said it before.
It's a big thing to say.
It's the only place in the world where the zebras feast on the lions.
There you go. Yeah, let's talk about that delay a game, huh?
Ugh. Did you see? I was watching the CBS postgame. Boomer Esiason was flat out like just pissed.
Yeah.
He's like, "Go talk to Dan Campbell. Go talk to those players in the team." And because I was watching the Sunday night game, they were calling delays. They were calling delay of games before the play clock was even over.
Oh yeah, they're doing it there.
There were so many.
People have been saying, I've been seeing on the internet, is that they're like, why don't they just do it like the NBA does with the shot clock? It hits 0, bang, you get a buzzer or something. Put a buzzer in her ear. Put the headphones. They got headsets on. Have the buzzer go off in her ear, and they go
absolutely
throw it once they hear their little buzzer go off. But
if there's one thing,
the fact that we all saw it, because I was watching it and I was like, this ice, you see 0, and I had enough time to be like, well, you should throw a flag here.
That flag should be out.
Yeah. You know how long it takes for me to form a thought? 2.5 seconds. Okay. It takes 2.5 seconds for a thought to happen. And the fact that I had that thought going, well, they should throw a flag. That means it was over 2.5 seconds that 0 was sitting there.
And the ball hadn't been snapped. So yeah, it was at least 2.5 seconds. You know what the one thing the Lions are good for is they are probably the best team that is just an advocate for change in the league, because every year it seems like they get screwed by some rule that's not actually a rule yet, and then all of a sudden the game changes. So next year there will be a buzzer or
probably
some sort of thing in the refs here. I mean, the catch rule, the completion of the catch on Calvin Johnson, those fucking ghost pass rushing.
I was thinking, if anything like this happens again this season, we should just forfeit the rest of our games.
Could you imagine Dan Campbell doing that?
Dan
Campbell seems like a real crybaby, doesn't he?
I mean,
like, well, if you guys aren't going to call him fair,
I'm not playing. Yeah, so we're not going to play. Give all the ticket holders their money back and be like, we're not playing. If you're going to do this, we're not playing. So enjoy. We're going to screw up all your stats, all right? All those teams that are against us, they all get wins now. Look at that, huh? Screwed that up. Take that, Vegas. And then the NFL will be like, oh, come on, crap. They're messing with our money. You gotta go after their money. That's how you get change in this country.
So what I'm equating what you're saying to is like a battered spouse finally standing up for themselves. And like, we've been beaten on long enough, and we're going to stand up for ourselves.
If you're not going to call fair games for us, we're going to take a knee every single down. We'll just take a knee, and then our defense, every time, we're just going to stand still, and the scores will be, the records will be ruined. They'll be like, oh, it's 108-0. We're like, yeah, there you go. This is what you get.
Oh, you didn't like it when Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the anthem? How about when an entire roster of a team takes a knee for 4 quarters of the game? How about that? You don't like that?
Yeah. Now all of a sudden you got Justin Herbert has 800 yards in a game, huh? There you go. Yeah, to have an asterisk to that record. This is what you get. You screwed everything up.
And we have to. I gotta mention this. He didn't make it, but yesterday our boy, former Lion Matt Prater, went for a 68-yard field goal.
Oh yeah, he went for a 68-yarder. Didn't make it. Landed to other former Lion, Jamal Agnew.
Yep.
Who
106 yards back the other way.
Yeah. So, do you think he ran by Prater and was like, "How you doing? What have you been up to?" And he was like,
"You want to grab dinner tonight?"
Yeah, like I'm grass. I'll catch you later. And he went and scored a touchdown.
Prater's like, "No, I got to get up to Baltimore. I'm going to go kick some heads with Justin Tucker."
No, Prater's a good man because he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, there's
any man you got dirt on is a good man in my book.
Justin Tucker has a look about him where it's like there's just too much clarity in his eyes and mind. He knows everything Justin Tucker looks calculating.
That's right. Yeah. You can always trust a piece of garbage. You know, Bill Clinton, real sleazeball, but a good man, I think. You know, Bill Cosby, we're like, oh, what a great man. Bad man. See, that's how the world. You know.
Never,
So
yeah, you never judge a book by its cover, right?
And if
You
any
got
of
to
your
get in
listening,
there.
if any of our listeners are seeing this, I had a pill problem, so don't worry on my end.
Mine's rage. Mine's very just.
There you go. Good, good.
I don't turn green like the Hulk. It's just I go entirely red and purple because my blood pressure is going through the roof and I could
That's
die at
right.
any moment.
I mean, Joel Olstein probably drowns cats. I don't know. You know.
I mean, the prototypical sacrificial lamb, right? He's doing it for for
Yeah,
God.
that clean guy look. There's something. Honestly, he did not let people into his church when there was a hurricane. So,
Not even just a church. We're not talking about just some pews here. It's a goddamn mega church, all right? It's the size of the Houston Texans stadium, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. But in his defense, they would have probably stunk it up a bit. You can't praise God in a stinky church.
They refused confessional. He wanted dirt. Joel
Everyone's
Osteen's
out there going, it stinks in here. I can't even praise. You know?
Joel Osteen's big smile too. You know, it's like he refuses to accept that the stink is just his own bad breath. It's
Yeah, just hitting those first front row pews.
Joel Osteen to me seems like the type of guy that takes confessional from his congregation only so he can have dirt on them and just blackmail them.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I would do. Just be writing it down in my little notebook. What were you gonna say? You were good. We were talking about Hawkinson earlier.
He didn't have a good game.
He had a quiet game.
Some killer blocks though.
Yeah,
I mean, it was nice.
Which is why our Dinkin was working so well.
Yep.
I mean, they did do a very good second half adjustment.
Yep.
First half, I was like, ooh, but then we came out in the second half, and it was exciting. We're playing good halves.
Well, we played a good first half against Green Bay, a good second half against San Francisco. We played a good two halves, both halves against Baltimore.
Yeah. It took a minute for the offense to get going, but we held them to a decent score. I thought it'd be even higher.
And someone that does, I mean, not someone, just the defense really, I think, deserves a lot of credit on it. That was the first time, not only was a pass rush existent, but Lamar Jackson is the most difficult quarterback in the league right now to contain. Yeah. And he didn't, I mean, his long run yesterday was 31, but he only had 58 yards rushing.
Yeah, he was contained.
So you take away the one rush.
Yeah, we were getting to him.
We had 5 sacks.
We sacked him with what's his name? Alfonso?
Alex Anzalone.
Anzalone.
Yeah.
yeah. Anzalone got a sack. Who?
Anzalone was one of our leading tacklers with 5. Will Harris had 6. Anzalone had 5 and a sack, but we had 5 total, or 4 sacks. 4 sacks.
Yeah. We were getting sacks. Yeah. And one of them came from Anzalone. I mean,
who's the captain of the defense? He's got that green dot.
Is he the captain?
Yep.
Anzalone is really.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because
Jamie Collins was not out there.
Jamie Collins is fully on the trade block and will not be back until he's moved. That is what Dan Campbell, Motor City Dan Campbell, is made known to the media.
It's a good move. I mean, it seemed to be our defense didn't seem to be missing him really.
Do you think he was kind of just like, I miss Matt. I miss the way Matt did things.
Yeah. He's like, Matt would do better stuff. Because if you're not going to play to the potential, this coaching staff will pull you and they'll put a scrub in, and then you get a sack out of Anzalone.
What are you hoping to get for Jamie Collins then, if we're trading him?
Jamie Collins, I expect a 6th maybe.
Oh, that's so
maybe
painful.
Maybe a 5th if we're lucky.
I was hoping
much.
I was hoping you'd say a 3rd.
I don't think we're not getting a 3rd for Jamie Collins.
No.
I think we'll be lucky if we get a 5th.
All right. Well, I'm going to hope for at least a 4th then.
Okay, you can go for a
You want
4th.
to take your moral victories, then I'm going to be an optimistic on things undone.
Okay, sure. Yeah, if we get a 4th, I'll be ecstatic. I expect, if anything, probably a 6th, maybe a 5th. Because, I mean, you got a guy on tape who's not playing up to it. His contract is kind of high. Is he good? He kind of was.
Year and
You
a
know,
half. I mean, he's a contender type guy. I mean, Kansas City, go get him. That's going to help your defense. Your defense is pretty bad. You've got a Super Bowl worthy offense. You're going to need a player who wants to get a trophy. But realistically, we're going to send him back to New England because it seems like anyone that came over here from New England goes back and is just a
yeah,
big baby.
yeah. They're just a big way they go back and play in New England, and they make a run.
Do you think
Honestly, a lot of maybe I could even see him. Nobody wanting him, and him just getting released. That
it's
is
going to be? I
another
can let me see what the cap hit on that would be. But while I'm looking
because his
up what
contract's not great.
it was three when we signed him 3 years, like $30 million, I think,
Yeah,
40 million
but I want
closer
to
to.
get rid of
Um,
him and get rid of Flowers. I've hated Flowers' contract since we got it.
that was what I was going to ask next. Is do you think that if Jamie Collins goes, Flowers just didn't play yesterday either in the midst of
Hmm.
all this,
And
and I
also, it
mean,
didn't seem like we had no Jamie Collins, no Flowers, and we held the Ravens to under 20. That's pretty
yeah,
good.
I
So
mean
like,
that's definitely something
you
to
might as
be.
well just trade him for more draft capital if we're rebuilding anyways.
So we are going to be. It'll
And
be
I bet we
six
could get
million in 2022. If we were to cut him at the end of this season, it
mhm.
would be 20 or 6.3 million against the cap. It's a big cap hit.
Yeah. He's got a big cap hit.
Dead cap this year, if we would have cut him before the year, would have been 14 million.
Holy
So
smokes!
post 6-1 release, we would save no money in the cap. It would cost us 7.3 against the cap this year, and then 6.6 against the cap next year.
Oh boy.
So he's got a tough contract to release.
Exactly. That's why I don't think we're gonna get much. Yeah, he doesn't have a great contract.
Now, on the flip side, if we
And
trade him,
Flowers is huge too.
we save about $4 million in cap this year,
Yeah,
but none next year.
right. So at that point, you're
So
just
yeah, you hope
trading
to
him.
trade him.
Yeah. You're just doing. Yeah, that's why
Seventh round
I think
pick.
we'll take a fifth or a sixth, just because we have to get rid of that cap hit.
And
And I
then
bet
next year,
most teams know that. So why would they even like give that much up for him?
yeah, I mean,
We're not gonna get
he
a lot
played
out of him.
he played really well in New England. He played good for about a year here with us, but he was garbage in Cleveland. Like, is
He's
he a
garbage in
product of the
Cleveland,
system?
and he started playing like crap here because he's got a bad attitude. So how that's not great trade bait.
Get rid of him, and then on the flip side, we'll go over to Trey Flowers, which
Get rid of Flowers. Get rid of that awful contract.
we could get something for him.
Maybe a third.
You think so? I think Trey Flowers, you get probably a second round pick.
No way. Maybe a third.
Current contract.
Bad contract.
People hate Trey Flowers so much that when I spell his name correctly in Google, Trey Flowers contract, the Seahawks corner who doesn't spell his first name with a Y comes up before the actual one does, where I've spelled it correctly.
That's funny. Yeah.
So he's only 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of dead. I mean, he's got a big contract this year. 33 this year, 12.8 next
million.
year.
Yeah, for a guy that we didn't even use last game.
I'll tell you what though, if he can be healthy and somebody uses him this year, his contract goes. Well, I guess the dead money goes down, but yeah, his contract goes up. It's 19.9 against the cap this year, 23.2 against the cap next year, and then 23.6 against the cap the following year. I mean, he accounts for 11% of our cap next year, 10% this year, and 10.5 in 23.
Not even missing.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you hear his name? For that,
He had a good game against Green Bay.
I mean, still not good enough for that much money.
No, you're right. That's a ridiculous contract. And I remember when we made the contract, like we were excited because he was a high ticket free agent. It was a big prize possession free agent. But everybody argued they're like, he doesn't make sacks. He's not going to put stats on the sheet.
Yeah. We were like, oh, he steals an edge.
Yeah,
that's like his thing. So if we can get rid of him too, great.
Well, we're gonna send them both away at the same trade at the same time.
A double trade.
Oh yeah, then you get your second or third.
two. Yeah, if we package them up, 2 guys for 1 second, I'd do that deal.
Absolutely,
One
because
second round.
you're saving. I mean, who has that kind of cap money though?
Yeah, at this point, nobody.
That's wishful thinking.
Yep.
So if that is the case, then we won a moral victory
Mm-hmm.
to yesterday. Won a moral victory week 1. I can't
Mm-hmm.
say that we won a moral victory in week 2. That was just a full on loss, and I will
Well,
not agree with you.
that one, the
Spin it,
Green
Jeff.
Bay game.
Spin it.
Look, well, these are my thoughts on the Green Bay game, since we didn't really talk about it.
We didn't.
The first half we were looking good, right?
Yep.
Looked good, and then we started falling apart in the second half. And you know what it was? Goff was making some big goofs, Goff goofs. We should make like a reel, like a cut reel of Goff goofs, and just a bunch of
Yeah,
just him
yeah. The
goofing
old
up.
yes, I love that so much.
But I mean, Goff, he's a dink and dunker. He doesn't have a great deep ball because he's got tiny little hands and he can't handle wet balls. You know, our man just doesn't do good with wet balls. And at that point in the game, it had started to rain. The balls were soaking wet, and Goff was like, "Well, I just can't do wet balls." You know, it's a big knock on him. I remember them saying that when he was getting drafted. Like, he's pretty good. He'll dink and dunk, but he can't handle a wet ball. And we were doing good up until the ball got wet. You know, I think
Yeah.
that's what's going on. They should have. I hope they learned from that game is that A, he doesn't do good with wet balls, and B, give that man a dry towel and have him towel that ball off before he grabs it. You know, give it to the center. Have Rack now just drying that ball off right before he snaps it. And then, so, Goff gets a nice dry ball. Then he can actually make things work. That was the only thing. It was the wet ball.
Imagine a bowling ball. You know the guys that like clean their bowling ball with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Imagine seeing that on the football field.
Yeah. Have Ragnow. Give one of those. Like, all right, hurry up. All right, shield it. Because if that ball was dry, would have probably been a closer game.
You're probably right.
I mean,
I will
honestly,
say
he was goofing up because he kept slipping out of his hands.
And when he was goofing up yesterday and in the Green Bay game, he does not do well under pressure.
Oh no! Yeah, it's a standard. That's how you get a classic Goff goof.
You
put some pressure on him, he goes. He Goff goofs.
He Goff goofs under pressure.
Can you imagine Dan Gamble saying that at a press conference? What happened there? He Goff goofs under pressure.
But when that deep baritone after his 2 venti coffees with double shots of espresso.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
What do you want to? Yeah, we all know he Goff goofs under pressure.
And then what if Goff starts buying and he goes, I mean, we've seen me do it in LA. You've seen it here a few times here in Detroit, and I'm out there. I'm doing the best I can as I was a number 1 pick. I'm the face of this franchise as a quarterback. But sometimes, Goff's gonna get out there and goof under pressure. Goff's gonna get goofy.
Yeah, Goff's gonna goof under pressure. That's a thing about me. Yeah, pressure getting a Goff goof.
But I don't know if you saw this or not, but I make goof under pressure out there on the gridiron. But did you see my girlfriend was on the swimsuit issue?
Yeah, so I'm just you dry that ball off. I think that Green Bay game is closer.
Here's your philosophy. If you dry the ball for Goff, Lions fans will be able to dry their eyes because we'll be winning games.
Right. I mean, I don't know about winning, but I think it would have been a much closer game than it was. You can't, he's not so thank goodness we have a dome, in that aspect, because wet balls aren't his thing.
No.
So luckily we got.
But he's got those
Chicago
tiny hands either. He's got those tiny hands, which are far easier to get sweaty.
Right, yeah.
A lot less surface area to get the moisture upon.
Yeah. So hopefully we got Chicago. Are we at Chicago next?
We are at Chicago next, and I want to talk about that, but I have to ask you a question first. You keep putting your knee up, and I just see and it just really, people who are watching this, it looks like you just have a white t-shirt on and no pants. It looks like you have a nightgown on. Like that's.
I got shorts on.
Wait, I can't tell. All I see is that bony knee. The knee just kept coming up, and I'm like, is
I'm
that
not
a
even
nightshirt?
noticed. I didn't even notice it.
Is that
Right
a
there. Oh
nightshirt?
yeah. Pops up. Look at that smooth knee.
It is a smooth knee. Um, but yeah, we're in Chicago next. Emily and I are going to the game.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be at the game.
We're going to the
Keep an eye
game
on the weather. If you see rain coming, sell those tickets. All right. You don't want to be
because
there for all
because
that.
you don't want to see any of Goff's Goofs on the gridiron live and in
Yeah,
person.
that thing will be slipping out of his hands. You know, he can't. You know.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully
I mean,
teams don't notice this and start spritzing the ball before we get it.
I think we got a shot at this game though, Jeff.
Oh, I think
Even with wet balls and small hands. That's the
I
name of the
think
episode. Wet balls and small hands.
wet balls, small hands. I think, yeah, I do honestly think we will beat Chicago.
Well,
I
Matt Nagy
I
is
don't want
doing
to
a
jinx it.
terrible job
He's
calling
doing
the
bad.
plays.
And I've been saying Nagy stinks for 2 years now.
Stinks like Joel Osteen.
I've been telling, because I have a lot of Chicago friends. I've been going, I think Nagy stinks. I think he stinks.
Chicago fans defend him because any Chicago fans I know are like, get him out of there.
They are now, yeah. But I'm talking like a couple years, they're like, oh, but now they're like, yeah, he stinks. They're starting to.
Yeah, he had that one good year for him the first year, and then it's really fallen off.
Yeah. So, and then watching that Browns game, they don't have an O line.
The Bears.
Yeah, they got a bad O line. I mean, to see how many times they're getting to a field. Sure, his awareness isn't great, but I think Anzalone is going to eat some bologna.
Oh, Anzalone's going to eat some bologna, and it's wearing number 1.
Yep, number 1's about to be Anzalone's bologna.
Well, did you hear the stat yesterday that in the Chicago-Cleveland game, Justin Fields completed 6 of 20 for 68 yards. He completed 6 passes. Cleveland's defense had 7 sacks. Nope, sorry, 9 sacks. They sacked him more times than he completed a pass.
Yeah. Cleveland was just eating him up. So I think
their leading receiver had 27. Oh, yeah.
I think we're gonna beat Chicago pretty good, and I think we're gonna. I see a lot of us controlling. We're gonna have a lot of time of possession. We're gonna be running it. Did you see some of those screen passes that Cleveland was doing on Chicago's defense? Was just gouging them.
Yeah, I mean, Chubb had 84 yards on 22 carries. Hunt had 81 on 10. And then as far as Chubb only catches some here and there, but Hunt had 6 for 74.
Yeah, they were screening him to death. And we are pretty good at screens right now.
Right now, we're pretty good at screens. I mean, we're throwing Panay Sewell.
Sewell.
He's doing so well out there.
Panay Sewell.
But I think it's Sewell. I don't know. That's what Dan Campbell always says. I think you're right. I think that loss to San Francisco really encouraged everybody. I think Green Bay loss was like, we did not come to play. We can't play like that. And I think yesterday really, really hurt. I think they were encouraged after San Francisco because no one believed in them. And I think yesterday they thought they could get a win against a higher profile team and quarterback, and they didn't, and they lost. And now they're coming in. It's Lions versus Bears. It's the king of the jungle versus the king of the woods. And
they're mad.
Let's eat, baby.
They are. I bet they're mad. And they want to eat, and they're gonna be eating some Anzalone Bologna. And as long as we keep our Goff Goofs to a minimum.
Man, you've had some real gems today, buddy. You've had some real gems.
I'm a
Goff,
phrase
Goofs,
machine.
Anzalone Bologna. But you're saying that we're angry, and Anzalone's going to have his bologna. Goff's going to keep the Goofs to a minimum, but
I expect a lot of. I think we're going to screen them to death. I think Hawkinson's
don't you think Chicago is feeling
game.
the same way after being flat out embarrassed?
No, I think Chicago is.
They're gonna roll over.
Yeah, I think they're starting to roll over. I don't see
a trained bear, like a circus bear.
Yeah, I don't see them mustering it. Where are they going to pull it from? A rookie quarterback who got annihilated. You know,
David
a
Montgomery
coach
for
who
his.
seems to be a coach who's like nothing is working. Everyone's yelling at him. They're going to feel the pressure and they're going to crumble this year.
I hope you're right. Well, let's just ask each other the question: what do you think the score is going to be? And I will ask you this: against the Chicago Bears,
Mhm.
who do you think our star on offense will be, and who do you think our star on defense will be?
Interesting
Hit me
question.
with a score and then a player of the game on both sides of the ball.
I think the score is going to be. I think we're going to win. Let's see. Let
Would
me
you like me
think
to tell
about.
you what we've done as far as scores have gone?
No, 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 no. Don't tell me. I think the
Okay.
score is going to be. I think I'm going to say 14-24 Lions.
Okay.
24-14
14-24. Because
Lions.
we've put up, yesterday was our lowest score at 17, but
Hmm.
before that, no, and then 17, and then 33. So that's probably fair. 24
I
is,
think we'll I
that's
think we'll put
fair.
up 24, and I think we'll give up 14. I think couple tutters.
I mean, just so I'm
They'll
not
probably get away
copying
from
off
us.
of you, I'm gonna say we're gonna win 24-17.
Oh,
But
interesting.
I think
Okay.
24-14 is a very good pick.
Yeah, yeah. And then would you my stars
I want you
offensively?
stars offense.
Offensively, let me think. Are we going to screen him a lot? It's going to be. I think Hawkinson actually.
See,
He
it's
was
I thought you
quiet.
would
He
go
was quiet.
Hawkinson
Yeah, he's
or
quiet this
Swift,
past game. Yeah,
but he
it
was
was it was between Hawkinson and Swift. I'm gonna go
he's got
Hawkinson.
Roquan Smith on him, who's just one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL.
Sure, but I
That's going to
mean,
be a tough one.
it'll be tough. But I think Hawkinson's he's gonna eat.
On the flip,
He's
I think Swift. I think this week was his coming out party, and I think they are going to ride that train. Jamal Swift is going to be a great change of pace back. I know earlier I said he's got the makings of a number one back, and we went with the whole 1A 1B thing.
like
I think
Jamal
game flow is
Williams.
going to really dictate, but I do think DeAndre Swift is gonna make some real big plays. Also,
Hmm.
last year, game one, he dropped that play in the end zone and we lost to the Bears. So I think he's trying to
True.
get some
He's
some
probably
stink
mad.
out of his mouth.
Yeah, yeah. I think Swift will gouge him for big chunks, but I think we'll get to the red zone and Hawk will eat over there.
And then on defense, I'll go first, and I'm going to say I think that it's going to be, oh gosh,
You're
Aleem
right. Who do you
McNeil.
pick?
I love Aleem McNeil.
Yeah.
I want to go with Anzalone just because of the Anzalone Bologna.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody wants
Which
some
is, I mean,
Anzalone
just
bologna.
throw. I want you to say that. I want you to say Anzalone Bologna, but I want you to throw some rhythm on it. It's
Yeah.
rhythmic.
Oh yeah, Anzalone bologna.
Is it fun? It's so fun. You
Yeah, it's
nailed
very
it.
fun.
You really, God, Oscar Mayer right there. You got a spokesperson. Hi, I'm Alex Anzalone here from Bologna.
Yeah, yeah. Try some Anzalone bologna. Now with
It's made.
olives.
It's made with. Now with olives. Straight out of Justin Tucker's martini. No, Matt Prater's martini.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker doesn't drink.
No, he doesn't. Does he not drink?
I don't know, but his eyes look like he's got a clear eyes full of closet full of skeletons. I think on defense, I'm excited to see. I love Aleem McNeil. I love what he's been doing in the middle there at the nose tackle position. I would love to see Julian Aquara do something, but I genuinely think that next week we're going to see a lot more out of Derek Barnes, who is
Yeah.
why they're benching and trading Jamie Collins. I think when with him getting reps all this week and then all last week, I think he's going to be ready to just cover some field because he's quick and he's a thumper. He's
Hmm.
going to have to cover Justin Fields outside of that pocket. We're going to have to contain very similar to how we did with Lamar.
Yeah. Yeah, we are definitely. We're gonna have to contain. Yeah, he's gonna be running. I
Tracy
bet he will.
Walker's another good candidate. Oruwariye played well yesterday.
Yeah, this is true. Um, maybe Nick Williams. You know.
Oh, off the end. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Former
He might.
Bear.
Hmm?
Former
Former
Bear.
Bear. Yeah, honestly, former Bear. Put me in for Nick Williams.
You love a romantic story. You love a
I like. Yeah.
returning to the team that didn't want you, which is why we wanted Jamal Williams to do a Lambeau leap.
Yeah, I like a little. Yeah, I think Nick Williams. Probably if Nick Williams would probably get a.
All right.
He'll
We'll
probably eat a
mark
little.
it
He'll
here.
stop the
Nick
run a lot,
Williams
and then he
and
may
Derek
get a sack or
Barnes,
two.
and then Hawk and Swift.
Right. Okay. Those are our guys.
All right. Well, for Detroit Lions, this has been Anzalone Bologna and Goofs.
Yeah. Just getting at us. All right. Well, stay tuned for this week's golf goofs.